You're watching New Car Spin. I'm your host, Brian Grant, and this is the 2019 Mazda CX-5 Signature all-wheel drive. This thing is incredible. It has a 2.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine and automatic transmission with 6 speeds. And once this car goes by, this is what it looks like. It looks a lot like the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, which is funny because at the LA Auto Show in 2017, the Stelvio and this Mazda CX-5 released, and they looked very similar. I had a good laugh. I do like this Mazda, and I'll tell you why. I've had it for 2 weeks, and I drove it everywhere. I drove the piss out of it. I had it for a road trip to Houston, and then I had it for a road trip to Austin. So Dallas, Houston, Dallas, Austin, Dallas. I put a lot of miles on this puppy, and it was excellent on the freeway. This is an excellent SUV, and I'll show you the interior, and then I'll get to the price. It has keyless entry. It has Napa leather. You can see it's got great stitch detail in here. There we go. And it's a funky color, but I like it. It has a Bose stereo, of course. You can see the emblem there. We have a power trunk. We have traction control that you can disable. I haven't finished my coffee yet. Surround view 360-degree camera, park sensors, and lane keeping assist. That's before we even get in the vehicle. We do only have a lumbar that goes in and out. We don't have lumbar that's adjustable on the back height, but we do have power seats with memory. And I already said, great Napa. This Napa leather is right up there with the Audi Q8. If you haven't seen my Audi Q8 video, go watch that because this feels amazing. And by the way, you see perforations in the leather? Yep, they are also heated and cooled. And by the way, these are probably the best, not probably, they are definitely the best cooling seats I've ever sat in. They are remarkable. And also, I have to excuse all the dust and everything. You'll notice that this has a glove box with like the most over-engineered, most satisfying glove box. It's this metal surround handle, soft opening, flocked, and listen to that thing close. That is a glove box. Everyone should make glove boxes as good as that. That would make the world a much better place. You can see the design in here, the details such as the air vents that have like this trapezoidal inverse to the trim itself on the dash. What it does is it makes this interior look very nice, very pleasant, very pleasing. You'll see the stitch here as well, okay? And then you'll see Audi-like HVAC controls. We have heated and cooled seats. We have our heated steering wheel. And what I want to basically tell you is this car is so great. There we go. That's probably better. Get the sun out of your eyes. This car is so good. It's like your favorite city, and not just the city you live in, but the city you want to visit. So from Boston to Austin, Miami to Mumbai, Los Angeles to LaCroix, you just have cities that you know that in your mind you wouldn't mind ever spending the rest of your life in. And you get in this car, and even today, it's a Monday. It doesn't feel like a Monday because this car is just so willing and capable. It has all-wheel drive. It has some torque steer, but I can get past that because it has a lot of power, and it puts it down. I had fun by turning traction control off. I defeated traction control and had a lot of fun in this car. I took it off-road. But Mazda doesn't know that. I had a lot of fun in this car. And basically what I want to tell you is this is, for the price, the best CUV I have ever driven. And that includes any Audi. So before you go look at an Audi Q3 or even the Audi Q5, if you don't need something that large, check out the Mazda CX-5. Because just like any city, there's really no way you can't love this car. So let me give you an idea of the price. Ready? Okay, so 2019 Mazda CX-5. Snowflake white pearl metallic. That's the color on the outside. Katura brown is the name of this interior. You'll see 227 horsepower, but look at that torque number. 310 pound-feet of torque. That is more than the Audi Q5. That is more than the Audi Q3. That is more than the Audi S3, I believe. And it makes me wonder, I guess that's why Audi doesn't publish power figures anymore, because a Mazda is more powerful. Anyway, granted, yeah, this is a 2.5 liter versus a 2 liter in the Audis, but there is no replacement for displacement. Let's get back to the point here. The price, cheaper than an Audi as well, $39,455, and it does have some options on it. So you could see here, it's hard to hold two things at once in focus. Okay, all-weather mats, illuminated door sills, the white paint, some kind of bumper guard, which I never even noticed. And okay, so it has a few options. So literally, it's not even $39,000. If you didn't go with those options, it would be $38,460, blah blah blah. So it'd be $36,890 plus destination. And that's your worst case scenario. If anyone has ever paid sticker, which I doubt, that's what you'd be paying. So you can get this out the door for less. I'm pretty much sure of it. Not a guarantee, but that's up to you. Let me show you the back. This is really cool. So I have it set to auto lock. Those, by the way, are the illuminated door sills. They look great at night. Somebody did that. It wasn't me. Okay. The door will auto lock, but if I open the door before the car auto locks, you notice something here? Do you see what's going on with this back door? Do you notice that? This door is opening almost 90 degrees to the car. That is great for ingress and egress. That is great for getting big things in and out of this back seat. And of course, we have air vents back here. They're not heated rear seats, so it is a little... Oh, naha, we do have heated rear seats. Look at that. We have a little storage compartment. We have USB in the back. Okay, you see where I'm getting with this car? Why would you look at the Audi before you look at this? Let me just center my, there we go. Let's go like that. My gimbal is driving me crazy right now. There we go. So, as you can tell, we don't have sliding forward and rear seats like we would in a Q5. We have about the same amount of headroom. So in here, when I'm sitting behind myself, which is the weirdest term anyone can ever say, I have plenty of room. I still have shoulder room, okay? And I have a lot of headroom. That is headroom, more than the Q5. And I don't have a panoramic roof, but that's okay because this is Texas. The view out front is actually pretty good. It seems roomier in here than the Audi Q5. That's how I'm going to leave you at that. There is a 40-20-40 split rear seat. Getting in and out of the back is so easy because this door opens so wide. That is insane. Power trunk. All right, large trunk space. Very large, and a spare tire. There's the Bose subwoofer that sits in the center of that. We have tools, which means we don't have run flats, which is great. We have a cargo mat. This is probably one of those options. This is what it looks like without the cargo mat. Okay. And then you'll notice this handle here. Seat goes down. We have this handle here. Seat goes down. We have this handle here. Of course, the headrest stops it on the driver's seat because my seat's so far back. Then you'll notice this. This is the shade. So with one hand, I really can't do it, but it clips in, okay? And when you open the trunk, the shade opens and closes with the trunk. And that's a lot better than having a pull out that you have to slide in and out because you never actually use it, and then you have this bulky thing. But in here, it's actually quite respectable as far as usability. It's a great daily driver. So speaking of driving, let's drive it. I actually have to drop it off today. They're actually at my house right now wanting to pick it up. Let's go over this. Like every city, let's turn this on. 360 camera every time you start the car. We have a great display here. This is all digital in the center. These are analog. We do have digital meters on the side, which is funny because there's a fuel gauge and then a second fuel gauge that shows range. Okay. So one of the funniest things about this car is I can tell you how much fuel this car has based on the way it drives. So there is so much weight and balance here that with this weight and balance, okay, that was weird. With this weight and balance, I can tell you how much fuel this car has without looking at the fuel gauge. It is so remarkably balanced in here. I can take corners at any speed, unlike an Audi, because this one doesn't understeer like an Audi, that this car is ridiculously fun in the city and especially on canyon roads. I want to get back to the whole city part, because every city, whether you like it or not, has bad areas. It has areas or streets or alleys you don't want to go down. And if you can't understand that, then that would be called confirmation bias. You would think your city of Portland is so remarkable, there are no issues with it. You're delusional. So let's talk about the dark alleys and the bad streets of the Mazda CX-5. The first one is this A-pillar. That is a big A-pillar. It is thick and monstrous, okay? There's no other way to describe this A-pillar. However, after about a day or two of driving, you just kind of get used to this bulk, okay? But it's the first thing you notice, and it's a little off-putting, but you get used to it. What I have a hard time getting used to, though, is the steering wheel, because while there are great soft touch materials around here and everything else, listen to this. There's actually hard plastic on the steering wheel, something I touch the entire time I'm in the vehicle, and it's hard plastic. I don't even know they could do that with airbags. I mean, that is ridiculous. So I have soft touch down here, and I've got obviously leather around here, but I don't know. I mean, it's not a deal breaker because the car is not 50 grand, but that was a shocker. Something else is that when you put on the heated steering wheel, is that it only heats up the basically the 3 and 9 position. It doesn't heat anywhere above or below the steering wheel, and I guess that's okay. A lot of the Japanese manufacturers do that. And what else? Oh yeah, we have auto windshield wipers, okay? But when the auto wipers are on and then the auto headlights are on, the headlights don't turn on automatically with the wipers, which is a little weird because I was in a situation where I had to turn them on because it was kind of like misting, drizzling, but the wipers were on. It was pretty wet out, but no headlights, which was weird because everyone's kicking up some mist off the road, and you know, legally you could get a ticket for that. And I think Mazda, you need to look into that. Just a quick little software update would fix that, please. Heated cooled seats. Okay, so the other dark alley is basically this nav system. I don't have any complaints about it as far as like how it operates or anything. There's controls down here, and it's very similar to like other Mazdas or what you would say with other manufacturers. They all kind of do the same thing these days. But when it comes to navigation, when you press nav when you get in the vehicle, it takes a long time to load. And this is not when we first started it. On a cold start in the morning, if you were to go somewhere and punch in an address, it would take you at least 3 minutes of waiting. Whether you wanted to enter it in through the voice command or enter it in through points of interest or enter a new destination, you're going to go through, let's just say, a lot of work. So you'd have to type it in, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you wanted to change it to Dallas, you'd have to roll, 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 or roll, and then up, 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 you know, because this thing moves down and up and left and right. It's just very annoying. So it's quicker to use voice control, but it loads and it takes time because it's trying to sync the cell and a bunch of other stuff. So no, it's not as good as the Audi in that department, but I think that's the only place where the Mazda CX-5 isn't as good. The rest of it, though, is completely daily. So let me put my seatbelt on. If I can. There we go. It's always hard to do with one hand. By the way, we have auto hold, so that holds us at the red lights. And it has to be enabled every time you get in the car. We have more USB in here. We have bigger storage down here. And of course, the seats are down. That's okay. All right, we'll put it in drive. No, I don't believe a manual is available. And we have a sport mode, so we'll put sport on. Weirdly, too, it wants me to refuel, but I guess Mazda's going to have to do that. So thanks, Mazda. Let's go back to that. Okay, we will go for it. Blind spot assist. Something else is you'll see there's a heads-up display. And in that heads-up display, it'll actually show me things like lane keeping assist. It'll actually show me if someone's in my blind spot. So I don't even have to look in my mirrors to check my mirrors for blind spot. If I hit the signal and someone's there, it beeps. But it will also show like a little icon on the right or a little icon on the left if someone's in my blind spot. Let's go this way. Last minute turn. Okay. That back seat is rubbing against the back of my seat. And it's driving me crazy. I can't push it back. Oh well. Looks clear to me. I think I got it with the acceleration. All right, let me close the sunroof. And it's clear. In the Mazda, you just put your foot down and keep it down. It feels a lot faster than the Audi as well. So about the fuel tank though, because it says refuel. Actually, let me get through this corner real quick. Having the fun. Handles great. Okay, so this fuel tank isn't that big, so I end up having to refuel all the time. And it's weird because even though it's not that big, once there's fuel in the back, the car handles a lot differently. And it feels, I wouldn't say sluggish, but it definitely feels heavier. And that's weird because it's only like 12 gallons of fuel, which is, by the way, a hair more than my BMW Z3M Roadster. A little tiny Roadster, and this CX-5 has about the same size fuel tank. And that just blows my mind because you can get further in this car, obviously, but why is it so small? I think a small fuel tank isn't really a benefit. It never has been. But just driving down the street in this car, it feels very firm, very planted, very sporty, and it's smooth. I wouldn't say supple, but it definitely has this edge to it where you're like, why would I pay $54 for an Audi Q5? Why would I pay $44 for a loaded Q3? I could pay $37, $38, $39 for a CX-5, and I'd probably have better resale value. Cabin noise is okay. There's really nothing vibrating in here, even with a car with 8,700 miles. Yep, this is a press car, and no, they're not always brand new. They do get thrown through a lot of work, as I have done with this one, which is why it's so filthy inside. It doesn't look filthy, but it is. Just look at those floor mats. Well, never mind, I'm driving. This is it. I think if you're looking for a CUV, this is it. I don't know anyone who couldn't afford this. Come on, lady. Go. We don't care about looking at your dog. God. JJM 5738. That's not nice to do that to your dog. Your dog's sitting there in the sun. I hope that dog pukes all over that car. Anyway, I'm going to enter a school zone, and these digital devices aren't allowed. So there you go, the Mazda CX-5. I think it's great. It's like a city you've always wanted to visit, and it does everything as much as the Audis for a lot less. It has more power. It handles better, and it flies on the freeway. I can't show that to you, but trust me, it is worth it. So please like and subscribe, leave a comment down in the section below, and stay tuned for more videos. I've got a lot coming, and if you haven't seen my other videos lately, please do. I've off-roaded a Rolls Royce lately. I've done a lot of crazy things. But yeah, Mazda CX-5 Signature all-wheel drive. Do it. And you can thank me later. Thanks for watching.